Hi everyone and welcome. If you're new here, my name is Aileen and here we like to talk about all things makeup, mostly luxury makeup, skincare, and fashion. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I hope you consider subscribing and joining the family. So today, I'm gonna try out the One Size Turn Up the Base BBB Cream Beauty Blur Balm. Now, I have already been trying this and I have thoughts on application method, skin type, lots of thoughts. So let's get to it. Let me start by pushing my hair back because I am going to apply this with my hands because that is honestly the best application. So I am filming in 4K. As you can see, I have all this hyperpigmentation. It is getting a lot better. And I have, I'll get closer, sorry, all these large pores here, here, and right here. It just is what it is. It comes with oily skin. So I'm going to apply this on this side of my face with my hands. With the hands, I feel it really does give a blurring effect. I am going to squeeze this out on the back of my hand. So here is a dot just blended out. It's it looks thick, but it's moussey, like a moussey consistency. So I like to rub it into the back of my hand. I will say, if you are applying this with your hands, a little goes a long way. So that was just 2 taps with my finger into what I squeezed on the back of my hand. And I will apply more, but this is one that you want to start off lightly and move your way up, applying the coverage in the areas you need it. It is very smooth. I was really excited for this because Patrick Star is oily skin, as am I. And if you're new here, I'm 38 years old. I have oily skin. I feel he just understands. He understands the struggle of oily skin, and I was so excited to try this. So I'm just blending that out. It is a tinge lighter than I would like it. So that is with 3 little dots. You can definitely build this up and you will get full coverage. So you can shear this out. You can apply more. But the way this blends into the skin with the warmth of your hands is absolutely amazing. I know a lot of people do not like to apply their makeup with their hands. I will say you can apply this with a sponge, but you're going to lose a lot of product because of that moussey consistency. The sponge, even when damp, really just sucks that product up. I will say I could have easily gone a shade darker, just 1 shade. Now with my hands, I am going in with little product because I know the warmth of my hands is warming up that product and really helping it spread out. And I would suggest the same with a brush, really going in with a little product, spreading it out and moving section by section. Not that it will dry down, but it's one of those that you just really don't want to apply a lot of product. But there it is, built up here. You can see where it kind of blurs the pores, but when you add powder, it blurs even more. And it is beautiful. You're not going to get your large pores to go away. You're not going to get your fine lines to go away. But can you make it look better? Absolutely. And as far as what I had on my skin prior to, I just had my brows done and I just had my skincare. I didn't even put primer because it does mattify. So although it mattifies, as it wears beautifully. My only complaint is the shade. The shade's a little off, so I feel like in certain areas, it emphasizes a little more than if it were my true match. But here you go. And this is not a blemish. That's just a really large pore. So nothing's going to cover that. And I still have a lot left. So I'm just going to put some on the face, and then we'll try it with a brush on this side. I've already tried it, but I want you to see. And it does work well. It just takes a little more effort and tapping and blending, which may not be much effort for you if you're used to applying with a brush or you don't like using your hands. I will just say, I would suggest applying it, letting your skin warm it up, and then blending it out. But it is beautiful. And I can definitely work with this shade and warm it up with bronzer, but I really need to consider trading this in for a darker shade. So there's the entire face. So it did spread out nicely, and you can, if you feel you applied too much product, I don't feel I did, but for demonstration purposes, with your hand, if you do apply with your hand, you can just tap and start removing any excess product. And I'm going to build that up in the areas that I have hyperpigmentation, and this time I did not apply it with my finger. I did dip the brush in my hand. And very lightly, I'm going to do the under eye, because this is a foundation that I feel if I bring it up to the under eye, I could just put a brightener like the Chantecaille Stylo, and I don't need concealer. Like it just covers. But once you apply the powder, they both look the same. It is very nice with the brush. I've been playing with the product, so I know how much to go into, but you can very quickly cake it up if you put too much with the brush, which is why I like my hand. But it really is personal preference, because with your hand, you're kind of melting it into the skin and any additional product is left on your hand. But with a brush, you can apply. If you feel you need to melt it some after you've spread, you can tap with your finger, or you can definitely tap with your brush, or you can dab in with a damp sponge and it'll be just fine. It really is just a matter of preference. For the under eye, like I said, I really don't feel that I need concealer. So this is the Chantecaille Le Camouflage Stylo. I just like to come right in here where I want to brighten, and right out here where I want to brighten, and just dab that in with my finger or a brush. I will use a brush today. This is the Rare Beauty concealer brush. It is new to me and I have been enjoying it. If you have dry skin, I don't feel you will have to set this. If you have oily skin, I still think you need to set it. That's just my personal opinion, but I think it all depends on how oily, where I'm extremely oily. And I think that this looks great. The under eye looks great. The base looks great. I didn't have to apply concealer. I feel confident with my under eye, but I am going to set it. To set the under eye, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury powder on my Wayne Goss 3 and just tap that. This brush is so soft. And now to set the face. So to set the face, I'm going to use the loose powder from Nikia Joy Cosmetics. I absolutely love this powder. It's like a velvet finishing powder. I like to get a little bit in the cap and just get my Unit 301 brush, really work it in there and just tap that in and buff it in to really get that blurring effect. I really love this powder. I believe she also just came out with a pressed version, which I have yet to try, but I'm really excited to try. I don't know if the pressed version has talc or not. I do believe this one does. And if I'm incorrect, I'll pop in here that I'm incorrect, but I'm pretty sure it does. The ultimate test for me was how the foundation wore around my nose. At times it will not, it just won't stay there. It won't stick no matter if I use a gripping primer. It doesn't matter. After a little while, it's gone. But here you go up close. You see how blurring and smaller the pores look compared to this side that's not powdered. They're still there. They're just blurred. So let me powder the other side of my face, apply some bronzer, give myself some color, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I did give myself some life with some bronzer, and I'll have everything I put on down below, as well as the Salt New York lip and cheek in the shade Rose. I just dabbed a little bit on that. Over the powder, I just wanted to be able to show that once you apply this and it sets, it's not going to lift. Cream products are not going to lift this unless it's a really oily based liquid or cream product that dissolves makeup, but this applied beautifully. So for my final thoughts, as far as the finish, it's not like an Estee Lauder Double Wear, like a flat matte. It's like very skin-like with like a velvet feel. And I think that's the moussey consistency that really just gives that feel of a velvet look. And once I bronzed it up, the shade worked really well. I like that I didn't have to apply concealer. I just dabbed the Chantecaille Camouflage Stilo, dabbed that in, set the under eye, and I feel this is great coverage. I think those with combo to normal combo oily skin are going to absolutely love this. I think if you have dry skin, a good moisturizer, I don't even think you would need a primer. I think this could really work for a lot of different skin types. So if you have dry skin and you've tried this and you're liking it, please leave it down below in the comments. I'd really like to hear your thoughts because those are just my thoughts. However, I can't put it to the test. I am not dry skin. I am oily, excessively oily, but I am really, really loving this. And for a close-up, you can see once I powdered, yes, my pores are there, but they are very blurred. They're very minimal. This looks lovely on the skin. It's not sitting on top of the skin. It blended into the skin. The areas that I did apply a little bit more did not cake up. I could have applied more there, but I didn't. I think this is really one that you can sheer it out or you can build it up. And even if you build it up in certain areas, it won't cake up in those areas or it won't look like you have more in those areas. And I'm pretty confident that if you had a good shade match, you could spot treat your face. If you have any specific concerns, powder it, do a little makeup, no makeup look and keep it moving and go about your day and nobody would even know. But those are my thoughts. Let me know if you've tried this, what you think. I'm really enjoying it. I have been trying it for a little over a week and I really, really like it. Thank you all so much for coming. And until next time, don't forget, we're all perfectly imperfect. Bye.